Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you a fancy fold card that I made for the Inspiring blog hop that I was on yesterday. The theme was fancy fold, and I decided I wanted to make a fancy fold that I've never made before, so I thought I'd have a go at the 3 cubed pop-up card that everybody seems to be making. Did a little bit of looking at different videos. I found Iced Images, and I think she was possibly the first one that did it, I don't know. I watched a few others. I've gone with the size of Iced Images, and here it is. Here's my pop-up cubed card, Christmas card, and I really like how it turned out. It is actually a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I will be making one smaller at some point, but how cool is that? Folds up flat, fit in a 6x6 envelope. It is 5 and that's now in centimetres, 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres. I turned it over because it was a little bit grubby on the other side. Yes, it's 5.5 by 5.5 inches, 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres. So it will fit in a 6x6 envelope. So yeah, stay tuned and I will show you how quite easy and straightforward this is. So what we're using for this card is the lovely, what's it called? Snowflake Splendor DSP. Love it, love it, love it. This is the sheet that we're using, so you can see how much I've used for this one card. Got those bits, so yeah, maybe half a sheet, not quite. So that's that one. This is the one with let me think about the colours. We've got Balmy Blue, I think that's Misty Moonlight, Highland Heather and Whisper White. The other colours that feature in this paper is Coastal Cabana, Night of Navy and Pacific Point and Pool Party. So lots of beautiful blues to give us lots of lovely snowflakes, and it's got quite a watercolour finish on it, which I really, really like. Love Coastal Cabana. That's just gorgeous. Reminds me of last year's snowman paper. Had lots of Coastal Cabana. I really liked that. Love this sort of tie-dye effect. Reminds me of my hippie days when I used to wear clothes like this. Maybe not quite so bright. A little bit more black involved. And then we've got these lovely sort of stamp. These are the same as the stamps in the stamp set. They're bigger, as you can see, but they are the same stamped patterns in there. Likewise, these ones are also similar to the stamps in there. Love these. Really gorgeous. Love this as well. And we do have these beautiful adhesive back snowflakes as well, which go lovely with it, and the blue adhesive gems as well go lovely with it. I might throw a few of these on this card actually. This is another beautiful snowflake selection, and that's the other side of the one that I have cut out. So a lovely, lovely set of paper there, which I can't believe that I just cut into. Not like me at all, you just stroke it for a bit longer. And then for the base of the card, well, for the construction of the card, this is what we need. Like lots of measurements, they will be on my blog for you to look at. So the main base, this is 11.5 by 5.5, and then we've got 2 strips here that are also 11.5, and they're by 2 3/4. I'm just checking because I don't actually remember cutting it at 2 3/4, but I did. So there we go. Yeah, 5.5. So if you're in the UK and I think Australia as well that use A4, then you can get, that's an A4 sheet that you've just cut down to 5.5, and then another strip off another A4 street, and then you've got one of these left. So if you were making more than one, you would have the start of another one. If you're in America and your cardstock is 11 by 8.5, then you'd need 12 by 12 to do this. I looked at quite a few videos, and I am going to make another one that allows you to get it out of one sheet of, doesn't matter if you're A4 or 8.5 by 11, you'll be able to get it out of that. Obviously it'd be smaller, but I am going to bring that as well. But this is going to be a bit bigger, and I'm going to compare the sizes then when I've done it to see. And then we've got some mats and layers. So to do the ones on the outside of the card, I've cut Misty Moonlight. I've cut 6 of these, and they measure 2.5 inches square, and then 6 squares of the DSP to mat on top, and they are 2.25 inch square, and then 6 squares that are going to go on the inside. You know, there's me counting. I did do 6, thought I just did 5. So these are going to go on the inside. I'm not matting these, you can if you want. So these are 2.5 inch square. So these are going to be on the inside of the cubes. And I didn't think that they needed matting. Okay. I am also going to be die cutting some snowflakes for decoration. I'm going to die cut them out of this to save a little bit of cardstock. So this is the die set that goes with the snowflake bundle. So these are So Many Snowflakes dies, aptly named because there are so many snowflakes, and the some of them cut out the stamped images and some cut out, well, those actually don't cut out, they cut in, that one, but these cut out snowflakes, that cuts out stamped image, and then that one I'm yet to use in a card, so, but I will. So I am going to cut from this. I've got to make, I was going to work out which one. I think I can do this big one, yes, because that will still mat. So I'm going to cut out, I might do some of the big ones and some of the slightly smaller one. I won't get both of them out now, so I might do the 2 shapes. Don't know, can't decide. And then for the sentiment, I didn't actually like the way those were looking for this card. So I'm turning to Snowman Season from last year, and I'm going to use Let It Snow, and I'm going to cut it using the second smallest stitch shape framelit and then one of the scalloped circles to mat it. So I'm going to stamp it in Misty Moonlight and then mat it in Misty Moonlight, and that's going to be our sentiment. I thought a nice one in a circle would fit well with the snowflakes, and I didn't think that anything, unless I was going to do the Thank You Snow Much, which was a thought, but I'm doing that for another card, so I didn't want to repeat myself too much. Okay, so that is all the measurements and all what I'm doing, so let's get started. So we need to move these out of the way and get some scoring done first off. So these are all scored in exactly the same way. So the same measurements for all of them. So we are going to score at 2 3/4, at 5 1/2, at 8 1/4, and at 11. So we're doing that on all of them. They will be written on my blog. 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and 11. One more. 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and 11. There we go. So that's them all done. As I say, when I saw pictures of this card on Facebook in various groups and that, it just sort of blew my mind. I thought, oh my goodness, that just looks so complicated. But actually, it's really, really easy. I've watched a couple of videos now. So I watched Iced Images, and these are the measurements I'm using for this one, which I think is where it originated, and then I've seen other versions of it. So there we have it. So this is going to be a nice size card. I think it sort of fits a 6x6 envelope when it's done. So nice size, and I think it's a bit of a statement card. This great for a special occasion, a big birthday, and this is a very wow for Christmas. But I thought, as the blog hop theme is fancy fold, this is certainly fancy fold. So there we are. So as you can see, so basically that's going to sit like that, and these are going to sit off it. So it is a nice big sized card, which is why when I looked and saw others, they've condensed it down, but I quite liked doing a big one. I've also seen it done with 12 by 12 papers, but it's more or less the same size, but it was in centimetres, so I don't like them. So we are going to stick these together like that. So I'm just going to mitre those a bit so that it's easier to stick. And this is where my memory has to come in, because I watched them and I've wrote down the measurements, watched them put it together, and thought, yeah, got that. So be prepared for bloopers. I'm sure I know what I'm doing. And when I saw this, I have a group of people that I do Zoom classes with, and they're going to love this, absolutely. But I think they're going to love the one where it's done out of one sheet of A4 a bit more to preserve their supplies. Right, so I am using Fast Fuse here. We do have Stamp and Seal Plus, which is very, very similar. I just still have too much of this left. So just because it's all symmetrical, that will close up there quite nicely. Gorgeous. And do the same here. Do like Fast Fuse for being strong and quick. And I'm delighted that when I'm finally out of my supplies, I can get something equally as good easily. There we go. So that's them. And then what you've got to think about is where this seam is. So I would put it so that it's at the back there facing you, because if you imagine when that's stuck up, you're not actually going to see that edge. But if you put it sort of at the back at the bottom, you might see it. It is going to get covered with DSP, these two sides, but if you've got it so that it's towards you, then that would be better. And likewise, that one there, you can put that so it's towards you, and looking at it, it's not going to be seen, if you get what I mean. So they're gonna get stuck on there, and it'll look like that. Okay, I'm sure you've seen loads of these before. It's not, as I say, I haven't invented it. So what we're going to do is, therefore, we're going to put glue on here. I like to use wet glue when I need wigglage. And then that is going to get stuck on there. So I'm going to put them both flat like that. Stick them on, and it is fits on there nicely. I haven't done a prototype. I am flying by the seat of my pants. There we go. And then this one is going to get stuck on there. Just going to push that over slightly. Because I have gone slightly over that folded edge. Be fine. Right. Lost sight of where that is. So we want glue on there. So the actual construction is really, really easy, and the decoration's not hard, just there's lots of panels. So put that now up against there, put that down, and that will now sit nicely like that. I stuck it to the panels down there. Oh well, even after thinking about it, I can't think. So it doesn't matter. So what I've got is this one, I did it the way I wanted, so that that little lip was there. And this one I've put it on the bottom like a Burke. But you know, hey ho. So that's the card. Lovely size. So it does, the footprint is 5 3/4 square, basically, and 5 3/4 tall. So a nice large card. So now what I want to do is die cut my snowflakes out, and these are all going to go on the squares that you can see. So these 3 down here, and these 3 down here, and I want them to have snowflakes. And I think what I might do is have, I think for ease I'm going to do them all the same size actually. So they need all cutting out, and the other bit of die cutting we need to do is for the sentiments. So let's get our stamping done, and then we can die cut in one go. So let it snow, which, given that we're having a massive heat wave here in the UK, a little bit of snow would be a nice light relief. Makes me laugh. One thing about the British is that we moan about the weather. We moan when it's too hot. We moan when it's too cold. We moan when it's too wet. Basically, we are never satisfied with the weather. I mean, I like a bit of sun. I like it to be warm. It's lovely. It's lovely to see the sun and it to be bright. But I'm not one for sitting in direct sunlight. And I don't like being too hot. We went out for a meal last night. Where's my stamp and scrub? We've got on the Eat Out to Help Out scheme. So that is Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays nights. we can eat for half price. Not drink for half price, but eat for half price. And my eldest son said last week, do you fancy going out on the help out to eat out? My treat. Well, I tell you, I nearly fell off my chair. So it was like, oh yes, that'll be lovely. So so that's what we did. We went out and he treated us to a lovely meal. We said we'd buy the alcohol, and when we ordered a bottle of wine in the restaurant for £23, Liam went, glad you're paying for that. Yeah. So I was thinking I was going to put some snowflakes. Now I can go with the snowflakes from that stamp set, or I can go for the flurry in this one. I think I'm going to go for that flurry. Let's see what's the size of it. There's a big flurry. I thought it was a little flurry as well. Where's that little flurry that I clearly can't see for looking? There's one there. It's there. I am clearly going mad. Maybe I need to put those new glasses on that I bought. Went for a day trip to York and I bought myself some new glasses. I maybe need to put them on. So my thoughts were that that would fit round the words quite nicely. You can just see a few snowflakes. Quite liked that look. Do I need some more? Let's just chuck them on, shall we? Chuck them on. There we go. There. Love it. Right. So I'm going to get those die cut and then we'll start assembling the card. So there's them all die cut out. So all I've got to do is stick them all together. So they're going to get stuck down and then we're going to have a snowflake in the middle of each. So I'm going to use my Tombow that has been decanted into this little bottle so that I can put some nice little dots on the end of each snowflake and around it like so. Centre that. On there like so, and then going to go around the edges of the DSP, because obviously there's no point in going all over the DSP, and then I'm just going to put some little blobs on these bits in the centre. So that I can stick this down to there, leaving an even margin all the way around. And then I might just get one of my blocks and leave that on there like that. So I'm going to get on and get the rest of them done. I'll just stick this together. That turned out nicely, didn't it? go. That's that done. And that's that done now. So 6 more. Okay, so they're all stuck down, and then I was just looking at this, and these are going to get stuck in there, and I thought, actually, I'm not matting them. I'm going to ink round the edges, because I think they do need just a little defining edge. I say, if you want to, you can mat them, so you can cut them to this same size, but I'm going to leave them unmatted, and I just think sponging around the edge will be enough for it. The other thing is I've cut these so they're the same size squares, and we're going to have them going in the top there. You can cut them so that they are 5 1/4 in length, the 2 that's going to go in the back, so they cover the full back if you wanted to. And I've just remembered that I haven't, probably because it wasn't in the video I watched, but I would do it, is I'm going to cut a white panel for the back for writing on. So I think you need somewhere to write, and so I will get them done as well. So I'm just using one of our sponge daubers. They work really well. To just give a little bit of a mock mat. Like so. I just think that's worth doing. Could of course have inked all of these as well. Right, so they are just going to get all stuck on. I'm just going to move those out of the way, and these are going to get stuck on these points on here. So I'm simply going to use some Tombow to stick them all down. So basically you can lay your card that way to make life easier and stick them on. Now looking at that, I've got all the dark ones on this side, so I think we'll do a little bit of moving about. I think that might look quite nice. As it's not an even pattern, it is going to be a bit different, and we're going to have like different colours on the inside as well, so So it does take a little bit longer than your normal card, but I think like most things, it's quicker the more you do them. So if you know, you could batch make this. Do little bits at the time. You could do all your die cutting and all your matting, so you had them all ready to put together. And I think this might be a nice little activity to do with the guides whenever we might be starting back. Oh. I guess if the schools are going back, we'll be able to start guides again. And I think this will be a nice wow card. I think they'll love making this. So that's that bit done. So then we just need the stick on there, and stick on those two bits on the inside. So let's think about what we want to do. So we've got two there with purple. I might stick them on the bottom bits. Those two bits can go up there, and then these two bits on the inside there. I think that'll work nicely. I did think about turning over and doing these on the other side, and then decided not to. Could of course stick these on before you assemble, and if you can see there, I think you'll be able to see from that camera angle that it's just going halfway, which is fine when it's sat on the shelf. That is all you'd see, but you could go all the way to the bottom if you wanted to. And then what I might do is just get my bone folder, go in there like so, and then take that one out for now, stick that one in there. And let's stand it up. Stick that one in at the bottom. And then all that's left is sticking on the sentiment and the little bit at the back, and we just need a little hinge thing for the sentiment to go on, which I haven't cut yet. You can see how it folds up flat there for an envelope. So that's all those bits done. And if I hold it that way so you can see the sort of matting inside there and the bottom there. So that's that bit. And then you've just got the sentiment. Now you can put the sentiment on the top bit there, or you can put the sentiment in there. I quite like it in that bit there. So in order to stick that on, we need a bit of a hinge. Now we just need a little scrap. So the sort of scraps that you get cut off when you're making card bases, it's about 1/2 inch. We just need it about 2 inches would be enough. We need 2 bits like that. I'm not being that precise with it. So I say literally a little scrap that you would have from cutting card mat down, and we're just going to fold it in half. Give that bit of a burnish. Got sticky on my hands now. Fold it in half. Give it a bit of a burnish. Okay, and these bits are going to stick with the folded edge on here, right on the edge, around the centre. We're going to stick one on each side so that the 3 folds are together. Okay, so I've got my stamp and seal. So I'm going to put a bit of stamp and seal on that. And we do want it on the other side as well. Can't even see if that came out. No, it didn't. So stamp and seal all the way across there. What you do is you're a bit like fast fuse in that when you break it off, sometimes it breaks it and you can't. There. So bit all the way across. I'm going to fold it in half. So we've got sticky on both sides. And so we want this centerpiece here. And we want to stick it eyeballing about the middle with the folded bit. At the centre, and the same with this one. So the folded bit is at the centre. And then we've got the sticky on there, and that's what we're going to stick our sentiment onto. And there's a bit of me that's now thinking, oh, did I cut that too short? I might just need to trim a bit off. Let's just see. You now can't see. I think I'm going to get away with it. That was something to consider, is your diameter of your sentiment. I am just going to go in with a pair of scissors and just trim that a little bit down. Because I didn't think about that. they've saved the day. So then this can now go and sticky on there. So it will fold flat, and then when you open it out, it can sit across like that because it's on a little pivot, and you can't see the bits behind. Now you could, if I thought about it, you would stick those on before you put these panels on, but I forgot that bit. So that's what you would do, is stick that on before you stick these panels on. But I forgot that because I was a numpty. As I say, watched the video and went, oh yeah, I got it. And it's just little things like that that I forgot. But you can't see it from the front. But the perfectionist in me would want that hidden. And it's not. But that's it. And you could bling it up if you want. Put some bits of rhinestones on the snowflakes if you want to, and I would want a panel on the back there, so some whisper white, and we want to cut this to, they are, yes, so we want to cut these to 2.5 inches wide. And 5 1/4 deep, and that gives you a nice panel there to write your message on. You can do 2 panels if you want. You can do a little bit of stamping. So what did I say? 2.5 by 5 1/4. And then I might do the same snowflakes around like I did on the sentiment. Let's just take those edges off because I managed to turn it. So we've got our little snowflakes. We've got some balmy blue somewhere. I was just using it. I did not put it away when the camera stopped running. There we go. And we could, can we fit a nice sentiment? They're all a bit big. Some of them don't, but I don't like them for Christmas. So we're just going to leave the sentiment. I'll just put some snow around. Oh, that really didn't stamp well. 2 sides for a reason. Still managed to not stamp that very well. That's fine. Right. and then that's ready to get stuck on the back. Just need to, because this was cut to go the other way, just need to take those ridges off. And that'll be us done. And it's easy to write on it because it will fold flat. So it's easy to write your message. It's quite a big card, so you could so if you're making this and you've got lots of people to sign, there's lots of room. And there's room to write a nice message as well. There we go, and that just gives it a little bit of extra strength as well. And there it is. All done. So, I hope you like that. I hope you realise that these cards are actually quite straightforward when you're doing it, and I might start thinking of some variations on this theme as well. Really enjoyed making that. Love how it's turned out. Nice little wow, nice little centerpiece. I'm now thinking I could make a few to put together. Really like that. So hope you give it a go. You could put something inside there, Christmas decoration, maybe some dried flowers or snowflakes on a stick or something. So yeah, that's quite cool. I think it might put some gems in the middle of those, or some snowflakes. We've got these. Those would actually look quite nice on them, wouldn't they? Let's get them out. Might not put them all in, I might just put them on a select few. So I've just got a little bit of bling on them, which I do like that a lot. Okay, all the details will be over on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. There'll be a link to that down below, and there'll also be a link to the original blog hop as well, so just go along and have a look what other fancy fold cards that people have done. Some people in the team do some fancy folds every week, and I'm always amazed at how many different fancy folds there are, and they do make a little bit of an extra wow when you're giving them away, so do go and take a look. Okay, see you again soon. If you wish to purchase anything, there is links to my shop down below, and if you go over to the blog you can see listed all the supplies that I used, which again you'll be able to purchase in my shop. Okay, bye for now.